What is going on YouTube? It's Jake coming at you with another video where we usually talk about computer science, but today we're talking about paradigms. Yes, what is the one thing that is better and more impactful than leveling up your technical skills? Changing some paradigms. We're going to talk about some virtues. If y'all were listening in on the last couple episodes, I was going over this video was called, Stop Being a Polite Engineer, and I talked about this book where I got the inspiration from. It was called The Eternal Pursuit of Unhappiness. And so in this video, we're just going to go through and summarize, do like a little book review, just like walk through this Eternal Pursuit of Unhappiness book because I found it very impactful, and I think maybe you will too. It was never published. This book was never published. It was only given as as like an onboarding handbook to employees of this company called Ogilvy. It's an advertising company that's been around for a long time. But let's hop on into it and just open up this book. All right, so here we are, The Eternal Pursuit of Unhappiness. We've got a digital copy here. Being very good is not good. You have to be very, very, very good. I'm usually not sold on book covers, but that book cover right there, I was like, all right, you got my attention, dude. This is kind of a base take. You don't have to be good. You have to be very, very, very good. We've got 5 varies. Pretty crazy take. So, who is this author? Truthfully, this book, this Eternal Pursuit of Unhappiness, was written by him and some of his colleagues when he stepped down from the company. This was about the company Ogilvy, who is David Ogilvy. He is the founder of this company. Lived 88 years. He was in the Advertising Hall of Fame. Appointed commander of the British Order of the Commander of the Order of British Empire, which I was like, what the heck? What is that? I did do some like Wikipedia searching, and apparently there's like I guess you could call it a citizen award that the King of England still gives out to this day. If you do like exemplary work for Britain, you can like become like a commander. You can become knighted. I was like, wait, you can still do that? That's crazy. I know there's some citizen awards you can get in like United States and I'm sure Canada, but they still call it like commander and knighthood in Britain. I thought it was cool. Anyways, so yeah, this company was in the billions. It's still going on today. Makes a lot of revenue. I'm not sure exactly what the profits are, but that was just like a quick, ratio. Point is, a very successful company. This guy did some cool things back in his day. Here are some of his like old ads he would do in the newspaper. And if you go on like the Ogilvy website right now, you'll see that they have made like advertisements for Coca-Cola, Samsung, Verizon, Powerade, Kia, Toyota, a bunch of like, every time you're watching an NFL game, every time you're watching something online, odds are Ogilvy could have played a part in it. So it's kind of cool that this company has so much reach. So what is the overall synopsis? What are we going to be talking about when we're talking about this book? We're going to be talking about this idea of divine discontent. Divine discontent. And how it's an antidote to smugness. Divine discontent. What does that mean to you when you read that? Hopefully it means you wake up every day and you're like, dang, dude, I need to be better. You wake up every day and it's just not enough. And so forever, you're always in a state of discontent. Some people will say some people will say that's a terrible way to live. You gotta enjoy the happiness. You gotta like enjoy life. Dude, what is that? So we want to hear about how David Ogilvy thought about life and thought about this divine discontent. He had some pretty base takes. Let's go through them. Don't bow your head. Don't know your place. Defy the gods. Don't sit back. Don't give in. Don't give up. Don't win silvers. Don't be so easily happy with yourself. Don't be spineless. Don't be gutless. Don't be toadies. Who knows what that was? Don't be Gollum. And don't go gentle into that good freaking night. Okay, wow, and this is like page 3 of the book. And over here, I'm like, okay, this guy's taking life extreme. And I will go on and say this again. I said it and I said it in the video we did earlier this week, but I'll say it again. You know, there's like a casualness to business. There's a casualness to life, and that is completely fine. And I respect people that go to work, have a family, have a really fulfilling life. There's so many options and like ways to live, and I respect that casualness to it. Like I said, this is for the people that just are extreme, that like just love to work, kind of workaholics, um, and kind of just like getting I guess like a little snapshot of the mindset of someone that is that extreme in their business kind of thing. So let's get back into it. All right, so we defined this thing called divine discontent, and we're going to have 8 habits that enable us to fulfill this great thing called divine discontent and live that way. Live that way to where we don't go gentle into the good night. Sounds like quite a challenge. So let's talk about it. You know, we got some fear. To the ancient Greek gods, a good habit was called a virtue, while a bad habit was called a vice. And the only way we can drive out our vices is by overcoming them with a habit. Kind of like we have a nail, and we're going to drive it through the board with another nail. So we are going to change our fear into courage. We're going to change our expedience into idealism. We're going to change the status quo into curiosity. We're going to change boring to playfulness, the tyranny of politeness to candor, which was the basis of that previous video. Cold arithmetic into, intuition, bureaucracy into free experiment, giving in into persistence. Sounds like a good idea. Sounds like, I would be a pretty better person in 2025 if I actually accomplished all these 8 goals, which is pretty cool. So let's dive into them a little bit more. Habit number 1, courage. There's no shortage of brains in the industry. It's the vertebral column that tends to be missing. Guys, it's 2025, and we're basically saying that, hey, there's enough smart people with bachelor's degrees. There's actually an AI out here that can just, solve any trivial problem out there faster than we can even think. So what is the difference of, making something awesome? It's courage. In the absence of courage, nothing worthwhile can be accomplished. Ideas are magical, but fragile seeds that require protecting. It could be in the shower. It could be a noon walk. It could be just like a long car ride. There are plenty of moments where I've just had some interesting ideas, but never act on them in a sense of fear. And the fear could simply be like, wow, that's a lot of time. That is a lot of time. It's so, like, even that simple fear, it's like that self-doubt to where you are living in such a cozy lifestyle. You're in a nice lull, one would say. Life is good. Do I need to actually like put myself out there and risk a little bit? And that is like that self-doubt saying I should just continue where I'm at right now and be docile. And what David is saying here is like, hey, you have seeds of ideas, and if you really want to do something crazy, you got to protect them. You got to have a spine. And this whole fear and self-doubt is what's holding you back. So be courageous and be daring. The second one is idealism. Second habit, guys. We are the people we have been waiting for. Kind of a badass quote. We are the people that we have been waiting for. Like, yeah, you have ideas of what are great people. You have, what is the word? Idols. We have idols of people that would be great and could help us out in this very moment. Well, we have them. They're ourselves. So raise your sights, blaze new trails, and compete with the immortals. This one is kind of scary for me, idealism, because it's all about having big dreams. It's all about thinking outside the box and not setting boundaries on yourself to what's possible, which is hard to do. I will say, there's so many times where I'm only thinking about the user story I'm working on, the sprint that I'm on, maybe even like that release cycle. But what are all the things I'm doing leading up to? What are the possibilities I could find myself in the future? There's a lot that can happen in this world. There's a lot. When our dreams are little, we become little. How great we become uh, depends on the size of our dreams. Very hard quotes, very tough pill to swallow. I challenge you to think of like what you've been thinking of and just ask yourself, have you been dreaming too small? Like, do you just want a promotion, dude? Is the promotion gonna satisfy all your needs and all that jazz? Sometimes I find myself thinking those thoughts. But really, like, what do you want that life that you're living currently to look like? I know there's like calendars out there that like showcase like how many weeks you have to live. Hey man, we only got one shot, so take some gambles. We are the people we have been waiting for. All right, the third habits is curiosity. Crazy. An endless trail of ideas floats in the ether. You will only see them if you are curious. I think that, I'm coming from a computer science and cybersecurity perspective. I don't think there's any lack of curiosity within those people that are in the computer science field, mostly because you have to stare at a screen all day long and you got to tackle some pretty complex and in-depth issues. And the only way you're going to be able to like solve these problems is if you are curious enough to dig deep and find the solution to those problems. When you have like some sort of network error in your JavaScript project, are you going to open up your um, what's it called, like the dev tools, and look at your network packet and see the error code, and then like look how that packet got messed up? Maybe you'll even open up Wireshark and like see all the different layers. There's so many layers of abstraction in computer science to where curiosity is like really good for just digging through the layers. Um, there's also just something from this that I took away, which I think is really cool, connecting some ideas here. Never utter the phrase, because I'm XYZ years old, because I'm XYZ years behind the curve, I won't be able to do this. It's not one-on-one correlation to curiosity, but if your mind craves the urge for a new experience, do not shut down that idea due to like a perceived failing. Uh, this relates to any activity in life. If you want to like start to sail, maybe like saw a piece of wood, learn how to fly a plane. Just like don't close your eyes to the possibilities that continue to surround yourself. Like be curious, be open. That's how business opportunities arise. All right, habit number 4, probably the first habit we've seen really here talking about this, but playfulness. Whoa! I mean, we are getting so rigorous with this with that beginning of the book. I wouldn't think playfulness would be in here. But here we go. Habit 4 is playfulness. We are all born children. The trick is to remain one. So it's really about like tackling life with a lot of energy and having fun with it. And reading the section of the book, it was mainly about how to activate that right side of the brain. Because don't get me wrong, in business, it's easy to be logical, analytical, just thinking of facts, facts, facts. Facts don't care about your opinions. But if we're going to be creative, if we're going to be like different, we're going to like make a career, we got to find a way to, bring that artisan, that creativeness in us to the playing field. Because I think it's, you can't just live life on left brain mode the entire time. There's got to be some right brain action going on. You got to enjoy it. You got to create things. I think it's like a human need to create things. So have fun. Maybe show up to work in a funky suit. Every once in a while wear a cowboy hat, but you never know what's going on. And just make absurd jokes every once in a while to your colleagues. Just have fun from your 9 to 5, and don't think of it as just. Some people call it like modern day slavery. I'm like, oh, hold up, buddy. We can doesn't have to be viewed that way. Find a way to make it fun in your mind. Uh, Habit number 5, candor. We only get a spark when the stone and flint are moving in opposite directions. Yes, absolutely. We have a video about this, so I'm not going to get too into details. But I will say this idea is not only from, David Ogilvy. This is something that was in Jeff Bezos's shareholder letters. I think he's talking about the fact that if he could decide between agreeing or arguing about a certain idea, he would always pick arguing just because arguing leaves a more beautiful result. And then we have Steve Jobs here. Through the team, through the group of incredible, talented people bumping up against each other, having arguments, having fights, making some noise and working together, they polish each other and they polish ideas. And what comes out are these really beautiful stones. So Steve Jobs, this is not something that David is talking about. It's pretty much every tech big entrepreneur, they like this idea of candor and like kind of being aggressive towards one another because it just makes you beautiful, as to make it poetic. Intuition. I like this little joke they have under here. We got the creative director thought it was funny, the managing director thought it was funny, the chairman thought it was funny, the tea lady thought it was funny, the client thought it was funny, the client's wife thought it was funny, the client's butcher thought it was funny. Okay, so let's now do some research to see if it's funny. Our business needs massive transfusions of talent, and talent, I believe, is most likely found amongst nonconformists, dissenters, and rebels. Powerful quotes coming from the book. And I think even the little joke on the side kind of just shows you the whole problem with this idea of research and bureaucracy. The intuition is the art of listening to that guru inside us. The best ideas are the ones not from the logical side of the mind, but gifts from the unconscious part. In every modern business, numbers, calculations, and evidence is needed before business decisions are made. So what is this bureaucratical nonsense? When it comes to making an innovative idea, we're trying to use our subconscious, and it knows what it knows. I think we're only present for 5% of what's going on. So let the unconscious pull the rabbit out of the hat. Let's go, dude. Some ideas don't need justification. Just do the damn thing. Pretty much. That's what we'll do there. All right. We're almost there, guys. Habit 7. The creative process can be broadly divided into 3 stages. Stage 1 is for the mind to gather its raw materials. Stage 2 is to digest the raw materials. And it's phase 3. And the final phase is to get down on your knees and pray that the idea will come. We are problem solvers at the end of the day. There have been user stories. There have been, epics. There have been features on my desk that I have no idea how I'm going to implement them at the time of getting it. You're like, holy smokes, that looks hard. That looks scary. And this idea of free spiritedness is you don't have to, I guess in the moment, you don't have to just laser focus in on the problem to try to solve it. Really what you got to do is absorb all the context around the problem, digest the problem, and then go about your life. Get all the facts and logic that you need at in the base level. Go on a walk. Maybe be in the bathroom with the hand just rubbing your face, thinking, taking that shower. Maybe eating dinner, drinking a beer at a bar, and the ideas just come to you. Sometimes it's not about tracking down the idea. Sometimes it's just about putting yourself in the optimal setting to where the idea wants to come to you, which is, very interesting, very beautiful in a sense. Yeah, allow yourself to make mistakes, allow yourself to experiment, and allow yourself to break a standard or two if you need be to default to solve a problem. Don't confine yourself to kind of the solutions that already exist out there. Just think. This gets us to our last habit, which is the habit of persistence. Let's go, drum roll. Dogged determination is often the only trait that separates a modern creative person from a highly creative one. Dogged determination is often the only trait that separates a moderately creative person from a highly creative one. Pretty badass quote. Again, this book, it's short and sweet. It has so many just fun and powerful quotes. And that's very true. And I would like to talk about it, but I think everyone knows what persistence is. let's look at how like this book talks about it. I think it's beautiful. This is probably like, and I know my face is probably gonna like block out some of it, so it is what it is. But this is a beautiful passage that we will just quickly read. All right. So we got self-doubt comes with territory, and ignorance, believe it or not, is an asset. I know we're like starting in like the middle of this, but just know we're talking about problem solving, and ignorance, believe it or not, is an asset. Experience and knowledge makes us sensible, predictable, and dull. But if you don't know, you think you don't know. Then you're idly poised for a leap across a chasm. The docta ignorata. Something pronounced like that. Who knows? You open your eyes wide. You shut them again to see. You suck it in and see. You do not assume. You look. 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 You look again. You look at your fingernails. You look at the tree line. You look at the clouds. You stand on your hands so that you can look differently. You squint your eyes and look. You look in the closet. You look at the ceiling. You look in the libraries. You look in the magazine. You look at old advertising annuals. You look at children's books. You look at the Bible. You look in cinemas. You look in art galleries. You look at people. You look at the edge of your desk. You look at your watch. You look at the mirror. You look for ghosts and invisible things. You look for Plato's perfect forms. You look you look at your dreams. You look for patterns. You look for all the tiniest similarities. You look for microscopic differences. You look under every stone. You look under every green tree. You look to heaven. You look for bloody anything. After all, discovery consists of seeing what everyone has seen and thinking what nobody has thought. You're not proud, you beg. You borrow, you steal, you build on other people's ideas. Someone was once asked, "Where do you get your ideas?" He replied, "I don't know, they get me." So you sit impatiently waiting for the muse to visit. You drum your fingers. You go for a walk in the park. You tend the garden. You wait because a thought comes when it wills, not when you will. You become superstitious. You wear your lucky underpants. You stare at the left to tap into your right brain. You walk against a nearby wall. You bang your head against it. It seemed to work last time. So that was a lot. And thank y'all for listening to me read that passage, which you can see, like, David, super passionate guy about persistence. I really love the writing style here. I mean, like, really, really beautiful, really powerful stuff. And it kind of just goes to show, like, ignorance can be an asset, especially in cybersecurity. I mean, just think of all the exploits that have been thought of by the NSA, by hackers, Red Hat hackers. I mean, everyone's looking at the same tech stack. The only thing that's different is the people that are there to hack stuff just look and look and look. They go under all the DLLs. They go under all the file handles. They look at all the network ports. They try to input any type of parameter they can think of, some Unicode characters, and the next thing you know, they hack a machine. I think that this idea of persistence is so important and so beautifully written here. So I hope y'all enjoyed that passage. All right, we made it to the end. That was kind of longer than expected. I didn't think it would take like, this long to talk about 8 habits, but that's how long in Bastion was. It's powerful stuff, except the book's only 60 minutes long. I might leave a link to it in the description of the video for y'all to check out yourself. Let's start off 2025 by trying to hit these vices in the kneecap and replace them with some virtues, and just tackle life with some intensity, guys. Let me know your opinions below. If there was a habit that really spoke to you, if there's a habit that you think is missing on this list, let us know in the comments below. Cheers. Peace.